All right. So the NFL isn't just about stats and highlights, it's about context. Welcome to Context Matters, the podcast that takes you beyond the box score. From Baltimore to Vegas and every storyline in between, we've got the takes that matters. Because in football, context is everything. All right, we did it.
We
we
did
made it
do
through.
it.
We made it through.
Context matters, and just for context, this was take one, two, three, four.
No, take five. Take four
Take
up.
five. Crazy, crazy. We finally got through it. Shout out to Dre. That was great. That was great. Persistence wins, and persistence won this time.
Yes, sir. And I am the aforementioned Dre Kamikaze, fan of the Baltimore Ravens. We didn't do this last time, by the way. I hate to call us out in the middle of me doing this, but we didn't do this last time. I was listening back to it. I was like, dang, man. I knew I wasn't going to put the music on here, but dang, we didn't do regular intros. But yeah, I am Dre Kamikaze, fan of the Baltimore Ravens, as you can see by that. That behind me. Also, that you know, here to just bring context to what's been going on in the Ravens camp and in the preseason games. Alex, say what's up to the people.
Going on, people.
I should have said say what's up to the contextuals. I gotta start using it.
What's going on, contextuals. I should have picked up on that too. Yeah, so a lot of stuff been going on with me. For those who don't know, I no longer am the deputy editor at the Raider Ramble. I'm still covering the Raiders as best as I can. I'm actually trying to cover every team, a little bit of every team, but I'm mainly going to stick to the Raiders for now, at least for now. And we got something big for you. We talked about it last week with Suited, but what we did not talk about with Suited, we talked about how we're going to be grading players and all this stuff. We did not talk about the analytical stat line and stuff. And that's what I've been working on all this week and before this week, but this week specifically, I just been watching every preseason game, week 1, week 2, all of them, and just every single one, just all week, and really starting the stat line and getting data to back it up. And it's going to be called True Quarterback Stats, and we'll get into that later. We'll provide examples later, but it's basically going to be things like what a quarterback does on third down, and this is specifically putting a quarterback in the box and kind of taking away from, it doesn't matter what actually happened, the end result of the play, just as long as the quarterback did something that it should have been a first down, for example, on third down, then he gets credited for a third down conversion, whether it resulted in a first down or not on the play. It doesn't matter, just as long as the quarterback did his job to perfection. We got that for third down. We got that for red zone. We got that for 2-minute drills. We got that for deep balls. We got all those things, and that's what I've been working on, and I'm so excited to bring that to you guys as time goes on and now. And that being said, let's take it right back to Dre.
All right, and with that, we'll get right into today's agenda. Obviously, we got to recap preseason week 2, and then we're gonna do a preview. Yeah, like review then preview. Yeah, preview of week 3 of the preseason. Week 3, the final week of the preseason, since there are no longer 4 weeks in the preseason. In case you been under a rock the last few years and didn't know that. Um, well,
Technically, there still is, and it's week 4. They don't play week 1 except for the Hall of Fame game. Just technically for people, so people are like, you don't know ball. There's still
yeah,
4 weeks in the preseason.
yeah. Don't come at me with that. The Hall of Fame game being the only game means it's just one day. It's not a week, so technically, you know, I will argue some semantics over here. Argue the fuck out of some semantics over here. But yeah, so we're gonna kick it started. We're gonna get started with the Baltimore Ravens yet again, and then instead of going from the Ravens to the Raiders, we're gonna sandwich in those other teams that we wanted to, bring up on this show, and then we're gonna come back to the Ravens because that's gonna have a little bit of an extension to it,
We got some
beyond
film
just the
breakdown.
the basic news and stuff. So, with that being said, let me get back to my notes. The aforementioned Baltimore Ravens defeated the Dallas Cowboys 31-13. I don't even remember the score being that high. I don't remember how we scored 30 points. That's crazy. I feel like for long periods of time in that game, we couldn't move the ball at all. Cooper Rush turned the ball over a couple of times. I don't remember if Devin Leary turned the ball over in the second half. By then, I was just only half paying attention because everybody that actually really still mattered was already out of the game on offense and defense. So the only thing to really lock in on was special teams at that point. But in this game, we saw a lot of young players that are fighting for roster spots and on roster bubble um, make some plays. The first one I wanted to mention was Ruben Lowry, an undrafted defensive back. Probably going to be playing nickel if he makes the roster and is given any playing time. So I guess they have him as a DB because he plays a little bit of safety, a little bit of corner, but really he's going to be playing nickel. So, I mean,
Still a DB.
realistically, yeah, that's what a DB normally would do.
And nickels are
Um,
DBs too.
oh
Come on,
yeah,
give some
I mean,
respect to
they're
nickels.
defensive backs. I mean, cornerback, safeties, they're defensive backs. So, yeah. But the reason why that's important is because again, Ruben is an undrafted free agent DB, and we did draft Bo Braid, who Ruben could be pushing off of the roster if he does in fact make the roster. So you got another example, Baltimore, doing what they do in the draft, getting best player available with each pick, but then still going out and to the undrafted free agent market and pulling in guys who can realistically play in this league. And we already have one guy that potentially might make this roster being undrafted in Ruben Lowry, and then we also have uh, Jay Higgins, outside linebacker, who I am almost 100% confident will make the 53-man roster. On the offensive side of things, the guy that showed out and flashed was wide receiver Devontae Walker. Devontae Walker was the Ravens' most targeted wide receiver in this game. He hauled in 6 catches for 61 yards. I firmly expect Devontae Walker to make this roster. He's been impressing in camp. First preseason game, none of the wide receivers really got to do anything because the quarterbacks were so bad. But in this game, we actually got to see some good from Cooper Rush. Thank you, Cooper. Really, thank you to the offensive line because I think Cooper could have been better in the first game if the offensive line was just ready for the moment. They didn't feel ready. In this game, they felt more ready than they were in the first game. Ready for week one? Not by a long shot. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later because Ben Cleveland took him a Falalele type ride in that game.
I got
And
some.
that shit ain't cool.
When you're done, I got some. We got some camera malfunctions over here. That wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, that didn't happen, guys. I promise you. You seeing
So,
things.
yeah. So, Devontae Walker flashing in preseason just like he is in camp. Like I said, I firmly expect him to be on this roster. I don't think the Ravens have four wide receivers better than him. So he will be wide receiver four in my opinion. Um,
We got too much camera malfunctions over here, bro.
while you figure that out, we just keep talking.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
All right, and rookie kicker Tyler Loop went 5 of 6 on field goals. He got a lot of experience in this game because we could not finish a drive to save our life. So we did kick a lot of field goals. We kicked 6 of them to be exact. With the longer 53 yards, Tyler Loop again went 5 of 6, and John Harbaugh basically confirmed that Tyler Loop will be the successor to Justin Tucker. But fans should not expect Justin Tucker out of Tyler Loop. For years and years and years, it's been Trot Tucker out there. It's almost automatic. Trot Tucker out there. It's automatic. It's automatic. It's automatic. This last year it wasn't automatic. Um, I expect some ebbs and flows with Tyler Loop as he is a rookie for one. But for two, it's somewhere between that 43 to 48 range. He's just been struggling. Like that's where a lot of his misses come from. So I don't know what it is about that range, but I'm just until I see something better, I'm always gonna worry about that. But 50 plus, trot them out there all day, but that 43 to like 48 range, those 5 yards, I don't know what's going on there. All right, why any of that matters? The reason why that's all of that matters is because the Ravens are quietly turning this preseason into routine. Young players are earning role, and positional battles are being decided. Death isn't insurance here; it's the front line. Hear that? It isn't insurance here; it's the front line.
You sounded good with these messages, man. You sounded really good. But as I was saying before, camera decided to be a traitor over here. Is when you're done with this, let me know when you're done with the Ravens recap because I do got some Cooper Rush and some Devin Leary stat. You good?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Yeah. So
Once I give you the tagline, I mean I'm over with.
so yeah. Like I said before, guys, true quarterback stats presented by Suited. Suited is what we talked about last week, and the true quarterback stats, like I said, it is what the quarterback does. It doesn't matter if the receiver or the pass catcher, whoever they throw it to, for example, catches it or not. If they should have caught it, and I'm not talking 50-50 balls, I'm not talking they could have caught it. I'm saying they should have. There's no reason that they should not have caught this ball. Then it counts as a first down on third down because that's bullshit. That you throw it to a guy, you throw a perfect pass to somebody on third down to convert, and they drop it, and all of a sudden it's like, well, you
It's
failed
somehow
on
your
third down.
fault.
Yeah, it's like I didn't fail on third down. What the hell are you talking about? Nobody wants to point fingers. No quarterback is going to be like, no, that was my teammate's fault. It wasn't mine. Every quarterback's going to be like, all right, cool. Like, I'm not going to hold my brothers down. Well, you know what? I'm not holding your brothers down either. To quarterbacks out there, I'm just calling it like it is because it's honestly analytics that we all deserve, coaches deserve, fans deserve. We all deserve to see how quarterbacks are actually playing. This stat line takes film into a stat column for quarterbacks as best as it can. You're never really going to replace film with an analytical stat line, but this is what we aim to do with the stat line. With that being said, we got some Cooper Rush, Devin Leary stats for you guys. And on third down, per our true third down efficiency, we got Cooper Rush having a really good day. He went 5 for 8 on third downs. 5 times out of 8 times, he did something that his decision should have resulted in a first down if it didn't. Devin Leary, on the other hand, we got 0 for 3. Not a good day for your boy Devin Leary. What you
Devin
think about
Leary's ass. He's garbage.
that? Not a Devin Leary fan?
Not a Devin Leary fan.
And man, you guys said it. Who did the Ravens play? I can't. We just got so many names.
When?
This in this game.
That's the Cowboys.
The Cowboys. Yeah, and we got Joe Milton. He went 3 for 9. 3 for 9 on third down. We got Will Greer, who went 0 for 2. We're going to take it to red zone. Now, red zone efficiency, we track a little different. It's still the same idea with the red zone efficiency for quarterbacks, the true red zone quarterback efficiency, in the sense that it doesn't matter what the end result is. It doesn't matter if the pass catcher actually caught it or not. For example, it just matters that based on the quarterback's decision, if it should have been a conversion, if it should have been this, then we're counting it as that because the quarterback did his freaking job. What more can you ask for, right? But the way we track this one is more based on staying on schedule, not completion versus incompletion, not first down or anything, just staying on schedule. What that means is if it's 1st and 10, you want 4 yards to stay on schedule. And the reason is because if you get 4 yards every down with 1st and 10, then it's 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2. Then you get a new set of downs because you picked up another 4 on 3rd and 2. That's the idea on staying on schedule. And if it's 2nd and 12, for example, you would need 6 to stay on schedule because then you would need 6 to make it 3rd and 6 and then 6 to make it first down again. That sort of thing. Anyway, so for true red zone quarterback efficiency, we got, and again, Cooper Rush, really good here. 3 for 4. 75% of the time, he stayed on schedule. Devin Leary, 0 for 2. Not great. We got Joe Milton, 0 for 3. And Will Greer didn't even get any red zone opportunities, so fortunate for him. And then in the 2-minute drill, we're keeping it the same. Same thing as the red zone efficiency. True QB 2-minute drill. This is all about staying on schedule. Now, this is a little weirder because there are some situations where, let's say there's no timeouts, there's 20 seconds, and you throw a ball in the middle of the field and you get 20 yards. That's great yardage, that's great efficiency, but then it ends the game because you don't have timeouts.
Right.
We're not counting that as being efficient on that down because you fucked up, right? So with all that in mind, right? Cooper Rush 6 for 8 in the 2 minute drill. 6 for 8, 75% again. Great numbers. Devin Leary, he didn't have any 2 minute drill. Joe Milton and Will Greer each 0 for 1. So those are the stats that we're coming with, and we got stats for just about every team and almost every player at this point. And right now in the preseason, they may not mean too much to a lot of people because it should because it's still quarterbacks 2s and 3s fighting to make the roster. But when it's the starting quarterbacks and we get to like week 10 and this data really piles up, you guys it's really going to show who's being efficient and who's not when there's a
Right.
lot of data to back it up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good converse. It's gonna be a good tool to use when you're trying to have a conversation about who should and who shouldn't win MVP.
Exactly. Because like I said, this is just the week 2 data, right? Preseason week 2, and we already got stuff like guys going 75%. Is that going to hold up? Would Cooper Rush go 75% in 2 minute drill throughout the season?
Hell
Who
no.
knows? Who
Hell
knows?
no.
But point being, if he did, for whatever reason, we're talking like elite quarterback status, right? And that's something for people to look out for as the season goes on. But I'm gonna take it back to Dre for the rest of the games.
All right, and like I said, we're gonna go ahead and skip over the not Ravens, the Raiders stuff. We're gonna come back to that. Obviously, we're not leaving Alex's Raiders off the docket today. Don't shoot me. Don't kill me. Don't stab me. None of that violent stuff. But what we are going to do is we are going to discuss some other games that occurred this weekend. And with this, I'm going to work backwards, okay? So we're going to start with the Monday night preseason game, the Commanders versus the Bengals, which the Commanders defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 31-17. Um, Washington leaned hard on the Washington leaned hard on the ground game with Rodriguez Jr. and Krosky Merritt combining for 108 yards and a touchdown. The most important keynote here is Joe Burrow took several solid hits. Like it was one at the end of the half where wasn't that at the end of the half where he was running around like what I think like he was Lamar Jackson and
I think so.
got powered upon. Yeah, and then took another fucking hit that he didn't need to take at some point in that. I just don't understand it. Like I get because the Bengals always have a slow start. The Bengals have a slow start every year. So I get why Joe Burrow is in the game. What I do not understand is why there's not a kill switch on that. Like, if it ain't there, go down. Like, you don't need to win this game. It don't count. It's August. You feel me? Like, he should not be taking these hits.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it for Cincinnati Commanders. The Commanders look great. You know, Jaden Daniels still look electrifying. I don't know what else to
Now
say.
we do have news from the Commanders, and it's not necessarily because of this game or anything, but Brian Thomas Jr. does appear that he's on his way out, and it's because of guys like Krosky Merritt and what's the other one's name, McNichols, who looked really good last year in his limited snaps, and they have a lot of guys that they like over there. So it looks like Brian Thomas Jr. is out.
Okay, that's important to note. Brian Thomas Jr. And he has been mentioned as a guy that was potentially going to be traded. For some reason, the Commanders stopped believing in him. I don't know how much of that is him getting shot, and not coming back as the same guy. No, I'm not saying that they gave up on a guy because he got shot. I'm saying he just probably didn't come back as the same guy.
I think when you look at his career, it's really just a lot of unfortunate things because, I mean, as you mentioned, dude got shot already. It doesn't really get too much more unfortunate than that, right? But he was set up to basically win the job. I mean, his competition at the time was was it Gibson? I don't remember his first name. I think he's on the Pats now, or he was
Antonio
on
Gibson or Antonio Gibson?
Antonio, yes. And yeah, he was set up to win the job. Then he gets shot, and now he can't be the starter. Gibson takes over, and then as soon as he gets healthy again from and he's ready to hit the field again, he immediately is out with another injury. And I mean, that's pretty much been his career. The guy has had just tough luck after tough luck.
Okay, and then up next we have the Chicago Bears defeating the Buffalo Bills 38 donut. In this game, Chicago dominated across all phases.
Yes, yes. Caleb
Bears,
Williams.
oh, there you go.
But no, go on, talk about it.
No,
I thought that was a pause.
it was a pause. It was a pause for me to gather how I was going to present the Caleb Williams stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you handle that one.
Yeah, so I mean Caleb Williams, and I'm not gonna say too much on it, so that way you can gather your thoughts and you can say your piece on it. But Caleb Williams in this one, he just showed all the throws that you want to see. Because the question with Caleb Williams was never his talent, right? Like he didn't go first overall because there's ever a question of talent. It didn't work out his first year. Actually, to be honest with you, Caleb Williams performed a lot better than people give him credit for in his rookie year. I will say that. It's just that the expectations were sky high because the talent is sky high, and there were better performers. Jaden Daniels, who they played it, not no, they didn't play against. That was the
Yeah,
other
yes, it
game.
is. Hail Mary.
Oh yeah, no. I meant this preseason week, but that was the
Oh,
other game.
preseason. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. But yeah. Honestly, Caleb Williams, he didn't play that bad last year. Just expectations were too high. Couldn't meet them. It was almost impossible to meet them really, unless you had the Jaden Daniels type season. But yeah, in this preseason game, all the throws that you want to see him make, he made greatly. He was much more. He looked a lot more composed. The thing with Caleb Williams with me going into the NFL was always, how is this dude going to adapt? Because he's so used to just winning off of being a superior talent, and you could see that all in college. And there was an adjustment period where you can't do that in the NFL. Everybody's just the best of the best in the NFL. And now he seems a lot more like, all right, well, I can't win off that alone. I got to be smarter. I got to be sharper. I got to go through everything better. And I mean, you saw that this preseason game, he looked fantastic.
All right, and with that pause, I think that's my cue to say something. All right, now with that game, obviously we mentioned that the Bears defeated Buffalo 38-0. Now although Chicago was dominant across all phases, the Bills didn't play nobody. So if you are sounding the alarm for the Buffalo Bills, please do not do that. Do not give them any bulletin board material for week one if you are a Ravens fan. Use your brain. Mi cabeza. Don't. Do not go on Twitter poking these Bears, man. Please don't do that. All right. Up next, we have Chargers falling to the Rams 23-22. And I believe that both quarterbacks played in this game. Both starters played in this game.
Um, I, I don't think so. I don't think either did actually.
Okay.
Let
Oh
me
no, we
check.
wanted to talk about this one because of Trey Lance.
Because Trey Lance and Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett, who nobody was higher on than me going into the NFL, and
I can't confirm. I got audio.
it was great. It was great. Trey Lance. I mean, Trey.
And Stetson Bennett had a hell of a fucking game.
Yeah, no, he did. He had one interception, I believe, and it was kind of whatever. But other than that, I mean, he looked fantastic. But thing with Trey Lance is it's kind of like the Caleb Williams thing that we talked about. There's never a question of talent with Trey Lance, never. But it's very different than Caleb Williams because one, the level of talent, although Trey Lance's talent was always high regardless, and the other thing is Trey Lance never really had the snaps, and he still to this day hasn't really had that many snaps throughout his entire NFL career, football career for that matter. But he's showing all the goods. Like he really is showing all the goods, and he's showing like there's still things to invest in with him. He just the game might be starting to slow down for him now. It might not. It might be. I don't know.
It might be vanilla preseason defenses.
It might be. It might be. But he's making all the throws. He's doing all the things you want to see, and it's not just that things are working out for him. It's that how they're working out. You can't help but be like, all right, like there might be something here still. And Stetson Bennett, man, when Stetson Bennett came into that draft, I think he was my QB3. and I was like the only person who had him top 5. He's my QB3. Thing with Stetson Bennett is he's an alcoholic, and he he is immediately he didn't get to play for like his first 2 years because he's fighting with alcoholism, and it seems to be he won. So congrats to him. Although I guess you don't really ever win; you kind of just sustain it. But
Yeah.
he seems to have sustained it, so good for him either way. Now he's on the field. He had a game-winning walk-off touchdown. I just talked about how good Trey Lance was in this game. He had a game-winning walk-off touchdown to beat Trey Lance and the Chargers. So credit to him. Played a great game. Trey Lance played a great game. It was just two guys playing great, going at it. Great game to watch.
And then up next, because I don't really have anything to say about that game, we are going to pivot to Saints Jaguars in a tie, 17-17. I mean, I guess the most important thing in here is that Spencer Rattler was able to lead a game tying drive. First round pick Calvin Banks Jr. was electric at left tackle, but Saints missed 9 tackles. A mixed bag with promise and concern. So offense on the Saints, check for the day. Defense on a day for the Saints, minus. Stock up for the offense, stock down for the defense. Plain and simple with this game. The only reason why it's really mentioned is because the quarterback still is not named in New Orleans. And you have Spencer Rattler there, who is in what, year 3?
Yeah, I think this is year 3.
Year 3, you have
Or
Tyler.
year 2. It might be year 2.
It might be year 2. Tyler, however you say that name, that man's
Shuck.
name, Shuck, who performed really, really well last week, fighting for this job. And don't they have a veteran over there?
So Spencer Rattler is year 2. They have Jake Hayner, who I think is in year 3 now.
Jake Hayner ain't nobody to worry about. But so that's why the Saints are mentioned here and being talked about. So between Tyler Shook and Spencer Rattler, we're looking for a QB1. And week preseason week 1, Tyler did his thing. Preseason week 2, Spencer did his thing. I think at this point you give the edge to the guy who's the longer tenure and let him ride until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, and I think that the thing with the Saints is, to be honest with you, I think their roster is so bad that it's almost like they're not trying to win now. They have no aspirations of winning now. Now, that's not to say if they do end up just theoretically making it so far into the playoffs or whatever,
Tripping,
they're going to be mad.
stumbling, falling into a playoff.
It's not to say they're going to be mad if that happens, right? But I think realistically they're more focused on a better tomorrow than today, So a lot of people, I say this to say a lot of people have the Saints like, oh, how about a trade for, maybe they'll get Jameis Winston back, or maybe they'll try to target one of the Browns quarterbacks. I think that it doesn't make sense because why would they? Like what are they trying to win now for? The roster is just leaves a lot to be desired. Oh, you got some mic problems?
Technically, just don't want this thing to stay up.
Not only have I had camera problems all day, but currently for the last 10 minutes, I've had this low device storage notification in front of my face. So I don't know if that's going to disrupt how the camera ends up playing out for me,
We
but
shall
hopefully it
see.
does not. Yeah, we shall see. So it's going to be just as much of a surprise to me as it is to everybody else.
Yeah.
And, if it doesn't, if you guys stop seeing my beautiful face from here on out, I apologize because that sucks for you guys.
Don't worry, I got a beautiful picture to put up there in editing.
Yeah, let's go. You got the AI one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, so I don't even. So
Saints.
on to Saints Jaguars. Yeah, if y'all thought we was gonna talk about Travis Hunter today, we're not talking about Travis Hunter today. So moving on. That's all
No
I had to
Travis
say.
Hunter.
Not right there. Just not right there. Maybe next time.
Only Travis Hunter talk we got is about the dude in the Travis Hunter jersey who got into a fight this weekend and went viral. We're not even gonna talk about that
Crazy
actually.
getting into a fight at a preseason game.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not even gonna talk about that one. We don't condone that.
I can't say I'm condoning that. I got into a fight at a bowl game, so
At a bowl, you said?
at a bowl game, it was Florida and FSU. No, not Florida State. Uh UCF.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Florida versus UCF in a bowl game, and then at Raymond James, and yeah, we got into a fight there. But yeah, so I can't
That's a
say I'm
bowl game.
condoning it. It's hypocritical. But yeah, that was a bowl game, you know. I mean, it wasn't a playoff game, but it was a bowl game, you know. Motherfuckers getting in a fight at a preseason game. That's wild to me.
Yeah,
All right, Jets
absolutely.
Giants. The Giants dominated the Jets apparently 31-12. I have no idea what happened in it. This is the game where all of the starting quarterbacks played.
Yes, this is the game. I watched this one. I gotta say that Russell Wilson better than I thought he would be. There's been a lot of talk about one play in particular. There was clear miscommunication, and is
The interception?
undrafted. Yeah, I don't remember if it was an interception or if it was just like a horribly thrown ball. But either way, I mean, it was so horribly thrown that it couldn't have been actually a horribly thrown ball because there's no possible way. He was throwing to an undrafted rookie receiver, and somebody had miscommunication. I don't know who it was. Was it a lot of people are saying who recognize the miscommunication, which it obviously was. They're saying, well, it's probably the undrafted rookie receiver. You also got to remember Russell Wilson is like, was he like 12, 13-year vet? He's been in countless systems, and it is very easy for a quarterback who's been in countless systems to, quickly think like, because you're not really thinking when you launch it deep. You're just kind of whatever comes to mind. It's very easy for a past system to quickly come to mind in that moment, and then it's like, oh shit, that was the wrong thing. I'm not saying that happened, but it could have been on anyone. It could have just as easily been on Russell Wilson, who's gone through so many offensive coordinators and different schemes. But I say that to say clear miscommunication. I don't really think anything of it. If you're gonna have miscommunications that clear, get them out in preseason. That's what the preseason's for being honest. So I think Russell Wilson played pretty good, all things considered. I really do. Justin Fields, on the other hand, I can't spend too much time bashing him because a lot of people don't know this, but over the years, there has not been anybody much lower on Justin Fields than me. I'm not talking as a prospect coming out of college necessarily. I'm talking
Yes,
just.
he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. It's personal. It's personal. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I should take that in stride because if I seen that coming as a prospect, I mean, shout out to me because who else saw that coming? But anyway,
Help
anyway.
me. Don't trust an Ohio State quarterback. Yes, CJ Stroud is in a
Anyway, Justin Fields, man, nobody is much lower on him than me, and I've just keeping it as professional as possible here because that's how I like to keep it. He did not
very
look good.
personal.
He Justin Fields did not look good. I know a lot of people are saying, like, oh, his receivers got to step up more, his offensive line got to block more. I watched three plays in a row. Okay, first play was a 1 yard dump off to his running back. He overshot the running back. It went over his head. I think the running back might have reached up and tipped the football. It was way over his head, though. Second play was a screen play. And this was, like I said, a screenplay. So this was behind the line of scrimmage pass to Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson caught this ball. This ball was like 3 yards behind him. Garrett Wilson had to go actively backwards, extend all the way backwards, and run backwards because momentum pushed him backwards to catch this ball. They ended up losing like 4 yards on it. I'm not blaming Justin Fields for the loss of yardage necessarily because I think this would have been regardless. But I mean, it was a terrible pass. That
You
was
sure?
it was just a horrible pass and a pass behind the line of scrimmage. I didn't even understand it, especially after the first pass that was over the running back's head, which was 1 yard out.
Did
Then
it
a
go
pass.
behind him?
Yeah. He caught it, but it went behind him for sure. And then the play after that was third down, and it's like 3rd and 8. Well, it was 3rd and 10, I think, or 3rd and
Was
14,
there a
I guess.
penalty on that play? I did not show me a Garrett Wilson catch on the stat line. See, this is why you don't watch box scores. This is
I think
exactly
it
why you
was
don't watch
Garrett
box
Wilson.
score.
I think it was Garrett Wilson. Maybe they count it as a Garrett Wilson run because it was behind him.
That's
Maybe
what. Yeah, that's what I was asking. I don't see any rushing attempts for Garrett Wilson.
I might be wrong that it was
Yeah, it
Garrett
might not have
Wilson.
been Garrett Wilson. It was about a 3 yard run.
It
It
was
wasn't Mason
like
Taylor.
loss of yardage.
Oh, a loss.
It was loss. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he don't even have no catches here. Justin Fields completed one pass for 5 yard for 4 yards.
Anyway, thought it was. I thought that's who it was. If it wasn't him, it's really neither here nor there who it
I,
was. It
I
just matters it
mean,
happened.
whoever it must have been a Skinner guy because he got 4 targets. Oh no, he got 4 catches. Never mind, it's not 4 yards.
I don't even see it. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Maybe it was Mason Taylor
Oh, was it? Wait.
because
Brett.
Mason Taylor was 1 target, 1 reception for 4 yards, and Justin Fields got 1 completion for
It
four
was.
yards.
I am almost positive it was number 5. I can actually rewatch it right now. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but I do want to be clear on who it was too, because I don't want to be fucking up here.
Well, that too, and if it's a mistake on the box scores, that's a perfect read.
But you know
Like
what? I'm gonna send it to you. Put it up. Put it up on screen share. The whole thing, the whole clip, so that way everybody knows what I'm talking about. So I'm not just sounding like a absolute hater over here. I want you guys to watch this.
where you sending it to me at?
On Messenger. On Messenger. So little break right here without it actually being a break, but we got you guys covered with the film. Y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. And it's I mean, what's Justin Fields entering year 5, man. And I'm not going to pretend that there's not traits to like about Justin Fields. Like, obviously, we all know he's an elite athlete, nothing short of it. But I mean, man, you got it.
I'm not sure yet. I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh yeah, we're having some technical difficulties for show. But yeah, messenger, and it does seem the camera is back up and running, so that's good.
It's here, so I can have easier access to it.
Anyway, we'll get back to that. We're spending too much time on this, and oh, you got it.
Yep, I got it.
All
I
right.
just gotta put it somewhere where I can pull it up on my computer.
Nice. Beautiful. So y'all gonna see. I talked about it last week on
percent completion rate.
I talked about it last week that we're gonna do more film breakdowns. Might as well. I recorded it because I thought it was just crazy. So let's do some film breakdown. Although this is pretty self-explanatory stuff, we do have film breakdown for you though.
Fields zips it right. Good coverage by Paulson and Debo on Garrett Wilson.
See, it is Garrett Wilson, no?
Yeah, it said good coverage on Garrett Wilson.
It's number 5, no? Should be number 5.
I still haven't even been able to watch it yet.
And he got all them sleeves and all them the shit on his arms. If that ain't Garrett Wilson, man, we got an imposter. It is weird though, because I do see the stat line on Google at least, not like on
I
NFL Network
see.
or anything.
I'm on Bleacher Report looking at that. But the whole point I wanted to make with that is this is why you don't trust the box scores alone by itself without actually going back and checking the work.
This is true. I will say though, as true as that is, absolutely, this is probably one of the good times where the box score didn't pick up on it, because I mean, we're really gonna give Garrett Wilson -4 yards for this play. Get the fuck out of here. All right. So here's the first play I was talking about. Overshoots the running back 1 yard out. I mean, whatever.
Let's talk about that first before we go back to that Garrett Wilson.
So this is a bad play, the play we just saw, but I'm not going to hold it over his head, because we could take a clip from any NFL quarterback and show a play like that where they should have passed it better. Shit happens, it gets out of their hands, right? I'm not holding it too much weight by itself, but it's a bad pass.
I touched the hand. Now let me not do that to him. No, that'd be dirty. Okay,
here's the play.
That's Garrett Wilson.
I mean, this is 2-3 yards behind him.
Yeah, that's Garrett Wilson, and that was the throw was behind him, so that would have been a rush anyway. Oh nope, that's a forward pass.
I mean, it's just such a bad. Now I think this play was losing yards regardless, but if this play was passed to him or a little bit in front of him, much less. And then this was the best pass by far of the 3, and this was not a good pass either. But
they got tipped at the line. No, it did not. No, yes it did. I can hear it. Listen.
No, I hear it. I mean, either way though, like I still blame quarterbacks for those to a degree. Like, you got to pass it over, you know. I mean, these are back-to-back-to-back passes, and none of them are like They're all routine. They're all very routine. Is the thing.
And a great open field
I'm
tackle
trying to
there.
stop it from talking. All right, there you go.
They're all very routine passes. The Garrett Wilson one, like I said, it probably loses yards regardless. And I'm not even saying like because of this Garrett Wilson play, like I'm low on Justin Fields, but it's like,
Nah, he's been low on Justin Fields for a very long time.
I
Like
mean, this is a
we
play
have
that
audio of it before you was ever a Jet.
this is a play that is behind the line of scrimmage. Like I said, it's basically lateral. And it
Yeah,
really is basically lateral because he throws it so far behind Garrett Wilson that it's almost lined up with exactly where Justin Fields is. And all the momentum just takes him backwards another 3, 4. Oh no, camera problems again. Even the camera's getting mad and doesn't want to see this shit. 3, 4 yards behind Garrett Wilson. And it's like, of course Garrett Wilson was going to lose a boatload of yardage. He had no choice. And it's, and then the third down pass, not much better. I mean, comparatively, it might as well be a Hall of Fame pass, but not good. And these things, man. Listen. Again, Justin Fields has great traits, all right, but like it when I see throws like this back to back to back, and they're so routine. It's not like Justin Fields is trying for 30-yard passes and they're not working out. It's like he's trying for pass
these
up
are
the
easy
fucking.
completions. These are supposed to be passes that you script as like one of your first passes that you throw to be a drive starter. Get the ball out your quarterback's hand quick, get an easy completion so they get some rhythm under them, and you continue to script from there. That's the first. All three of those were first 15 type plays.
Listen, this is all I'm gonna say. This is all I'm gonna say about at least the first two passes. Maybe not the third one, but the first two. I promise you. Me. I could throw that ball better to those players in the first and second down. I promise you. That's all I'm saying. All right. Now listen, quarterbacks, they have their moments. They're people too. They have their bad passes. You can. I already said this. You can pick out Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. Doesn't matter. You can pick out absolute terrible passes that most normal people could probably make more often than not. Because quarterbacks at the end of the day are human too. But it's just. I mean, it's not like I went through the whole game and these are the only examples. This was just a sequence of three passes in a row, like three in a row. That's the whole drive. Actually, it's not the whole drive because there were passes before this, or plays rather before this, but it could be because that's first, second, and third down, back to back to back, and it's just they're all like,
And that would have been poor game managing by the coach if in the first quarter, what looks like your first drive, you're scripting three straight passes.
right, and people are probably out there being like, this is one preseason game, like this is one preseason game.
Yeah, but
I get that,
this
I
is
get that.
practice. Like, so the whole notion that the preseason don't matter, it's stupid to me. For one, there are 90 people on a roster in the preseason. By the time we get to the regular season, there are only going to be 53 people on the roster. So that means that people are fighting for jobs. Can't be meaningless if whether or not somebody has a job in the long run or, at least for the foreseeable future is determined based off of these games. Also, coaches have to practice too. They have to practice in-game scripting. They have to practice time management, when to call my timeouts, situational football, when to use my challenges, when to go for it on fourth down. Like all of that stuff that needs to be worked on. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
only reason why you have data to follow back on your analytics is because you do those things in low leverage situation, which the preseason for the NFL is the outside of just training camp and practice is the lowest leverage situations you will ever be in, where you can practice these uh, coaching skills, I should say, in order to get them right in game. You don't want to be out here, especially with rule changes every year, and how the officials officiate different plays and stuff like that. You don't want to be out here challenging things, that they're not calling one way this year because of how they called it in the past. Like, for example, that one year where we were able to challenge PI, right, in the preseason. I don't know if it was ever in the regular season. But in order to know if that works, you have to practice it in games that are low leverage situation. Practice
Absolutely.
games like the preseason are always low leverage situations. So the notion that preseason don't matter is stupid. You have to put yourself in game situations and practice this stuff. That's what the preseason is for. Sorry.
Absolutely, absolutely. And but the other thing that I was really going to say about that, and I agree 100% with everything you just said, but I'm not just taking one preseason game or one game, even if this was a regular season game, and being like, maybe Justin Fields isn't that good. This is everything we've been seeing for past 4 years now. Since day one, this is everything we've been seeing, and it's really. I'm not saying Justin Fields that I'm low on Justin Fields because of this game. I'm saying that I've been low on Justin Fields and
Since
performances
he was
like
at Ohio
this
State,
only
because he's a
only
Michigan
really
fan.
performances like this only are just like, dude, I mean, I don't even know if there's I don't even know what the potential is. Athletically, there's so much potential with Justin Fields, but when I see plays like this, it's like, what, as far as the arm goes, what even is the potential? Now Justin Fields does have a handful of plays that are deep shots that are like now that's a throw, right? Most quarterbacks do in the NFL, but he does, to his credit, he does. But they're so few and far between, and we're talking about like throws right directly at the line of scrimmage. They just whiff. They're whiffed, man, consistently, consecutively, and consistently. It's like shit. But I guess that's all I'm gonna say on the Justin Fields subject. Until next week.
Justin Fields, get better. I will say this: Justin Fields is the last Ohio State quarterback to beat Michigan.
And I will say this too, because there might be people that are like, "How about last week?" Justin Fields, he looked much better last week. He played fine last week. I'd go as far as saying he played fine last week. So, I'm not ignoring the better parts to highlight the bad parts. It just so happens to be like this because we didn't talk about the Jets or anything last week. But I will say that too. Like, yeah, he looked fine last week. If we
Yeah,
if we
and
get
it's preseason. We're not talking about every team. So
if we get
if you
that
think that's happening in the preseason, you can go eat a dick.
if we get last week's Justin Fields in preseason every game for the rest of his career, I mean, we're talking about a fine quarterback for sure. But like, we don't get that. Like, but anyway, I say that to say, yeah, I'll acknowledge the good part of last week too. I'm not just gonna focus on the bad with him. But what else we got?
Man, I wish we were sponsored by Blue Moon because I was about to say once in a Blue Moon that would have been a perfect segue into a fucking ad read.
It would have
But
been. It would have been.
last and not least on the around the NFL teams, the Colts and Packers. And the only reason why these boys are on this list is because the Colts officially named a starting quarterback. That starting quarterback is not Anthony Richardson.
It is not. It is not Anthony Richardson, who, by the way, man, I talk about this, I feel like every episode. Watched him play in person at the combine, in person with my own eyes, sitting in the media section. And I said to a friend who is a Colts fan, who happened to be a Colts fan, there's probably going to be, in my opinion, quarterback controversy with him, being that I think people are going to try to convert him to tight end or wide receiver because I don't see it at quarterback. He has always had a rocket of an arm, an absolute rocket. But it, and it's funny because his deep ball seems to be notably more accurate than his medium and short range ball. But for the most part, I see Anthony Richardson as Justin Fields with a rocket arm, and Justin Fields doesn't have a bad arm himself, by the way, as far as, just arm power and stuff. But, man, I see them as almost the same quarterback. I really do because you see all the mobility. Now they're mobile in different ways, right? Anthony Richardson is like a fucking bull in a china shop, and Justin Fields is more finesse, footwork, outrun you, elusiveness. Anthony Richardson is I don't care who's there. One's kind of like Michael Vick, and the other one's kind of like Cam Newton. But all the same, I view them as the same player. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like this is unpopular, especially with Colts Twitter, because everybody's like the potential of Anthony Richardson, the potential of Anthony Richardson. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. You don't show any development in 3 years. You know what? You don't deserve to. I'm sorry, you don't deserve to have a fourth, fifth shot to show anything at all when you haven't shown a damn thing in the NFL. It's not to say Anthony Richardson doesn't have potential. It's just to say, well, why does he deserve it? Because he may or may not. That there's theoretically like he can improve. That makes you deserve it. How about a guy like Daniel Jones, who, yeah, the results haven't always been there, but he has worked his ass off and he has shown improvement throughout the years. And yeah, it is true that theoretically, if you can match all the coachable things, Anthony Richardson would be a better quarterback at the end of the day, almost positively, than Daniel Jones. But that gets you fired when you focus on that. That gets you stuck with Justin Fields when you focus on that. That gets you. If the Bears were still in on that, they wouldn't have Caleb Williams right now. They'd be stuck with Justin Fields, and they would have traded the first overall pick of Caleb Williams. Like that gets you fired. That makes you have bad decisions. And I think Cardinals, if Cardinals were of that mindset, they would still have Josh Rosen at quarterback. And Kyler Murray, not that Kyler Murray is exactly lighting up the NFL. He's miles
Let's
better than Josh
go,
Rosen.
Dick Riders. We're back. No Diddy. Sorry, that's a Red Sox thing. My fault.
But yeah, I personally would have went Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones earned it more. I think that Daniel Jones gives you a better shot to win right now. And I think looking at that Colts roster, I mentioned the Saints earlier. I don't get why they would trade for a starting quarterback because the roster not that good. Colts roster really good. It really is good. The quarterback is the one question mark. So get the guy who shows you the most now. I think that's Daniel Jones. But what do you think on that, Dre?
Say that last part again.
I think that because the Colts roster is really good, in my opinion. It's not like the Saints where why would they trade for a quarterback when the roster is just so undesirable? I think
Right.
the Colts roster is really desirable. So get the guy who gives you the best chance to win now, not the guy who, maybe in 3 years he could become this, maybe not. No, get the guy who can win you the most now because the roster's ready to win right now. And I think that's Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson.
And I 100% agree with that. It's ironic that we went Jets, Giants, and then Colts, Packers, and I did not do this on purpose because there's probably nobody lower on Anthony Richardson coming out of the draft than I was. One, Corey's a Florida Gator fan, so I had to watch a lot of freaking Anthony Richardson play. And even in college, there was no consistency. And I'm not even talking about from drive to drive, from game to game, or it's from play to play. From
Mm-hmm.
play to play, bro. You know how like sometimes you run something and then it works so well you flip the play and run it to the other side?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like not consistent from play to play if we were running the same exact play over and 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 over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he can make all of the throws, but he can't do it consistently. It's like when you do something that you never thought you could do before, you be like, I couldn't do that twice if I tried. That's
But
Anthony Richardson when he's playing football, when he's processing information, when he's out there on the football field. Now, if you look at the guy, all the intangibles, he's big, looks strong, arm is a fucking cannon, has athleticism, can run, but this is where he's lacking. This
I
is where
guess
he's lacking.
I agree. I totally agree. Anthony Richardson is. I
Physical
like to.
specimen.
Oh, absolutely. I like to call Anthony Richardson the wet dream of what you could potentially be and what
Right.
you could potentially be. The thing is, like a lot of things that are theoretically teachable and coachable, the NFL development doesn't work how you think. They don't take your weaknesses and try to round you. They take your strengths and are like, this is our competitive advantage. Look at Anthony Richardson. What are his competitive advantage? It's his rocket arm, and it's the fact that he's basically a bull in a china shop when he takes off. These are the things that you hammer home because these are your competitive advantages. And Anthony Richardson, so like I said earlier, the only thing that he really does seem to do, even moderately consistent, and I don't even know if I would call it consistent, is his deep ball accuracy is much better than his 10 yards out accuracy. It's much better than his 5 yards out accuracy. It's so weird. He can throw a ball 30 yards downfield much better than he could throw a ball 5 yards. It's so weird. But he these are the things that they're trying to hammer home. They're not trying to make him a better 5 yard passer. I mean, I'm sure they're working on it, don't get me wrong, but they're not hammering that home. They're hammering home the deep ball. They're like, you're already good at it. So you already got a rocket arm rather. So let's keep it going. Let's hammer that home. Yeah, you can run through anybody. Let's keep it going. Let's hammer that home. So the development of NFL players, how they develop, is kind of a myth for that reason. But here's some. I don't normally do this because I'm an analytical guy myself, so I kind of like to provide my own analytics. But Warren Sharp, he's a guy who is an analytic guy, and
Yeah,
to be
Warren
honest,
Sharp, that's my guy.
I don't always agree with his approaches, but he does have some interesting info sometimes. So here's analytics that he's kind of dug up through his analytic system. He
Shout out
says
Warren Sharp.
this is why Anthony Richardson it shouldn't be starting over Daniel Jones in 4 parts. Part one: 55 quarterbacks have 175 attempts over the last 2 years, 55 of them. And among those 55 guys with at least 175 passing attempts in the last 2 years, Anthony Richardson ranks number 55 of all 55 in accuracy, number 55 of all 55 in completion rate, number 50 of all 55 in touchdown interception ratio. Okay, horrendous. I mean, the worst out of pretty much everybody of all 55 guys. Now, number 2, that's only part 1 of 4. Number 2, he says 54 qualifying quarterbacks last year qualified for completion percentage over expected. Anthony Richardson ranked number 54 of 54 in completion percentage over expected. So that's basically taken into account drops and stuff and all that stuff. So even if we're saying all the drops counted as completions and all that stuff, he was dead last. 54 of 54. Number 3, on passes thrown 7+ yards downfield with no pressure. This is specifically with no pressure, just clean pocket. He's completed 38% of passes. That's horrible. NFL average is 57%. He's at 38. 38, okay? So needless to say, you could guess, that ranks 55 out of all the 55 we talked about earlier. 55 of 55 in touchdown interception rates with no pressure, 55 of 55 in average yards per attempt with no pressure, and 55 and 55 in completion percentage with no pressure. He has 1 touchdown to 6 interceptions with no pressure throughout his career. These are, I mean, what are we talking about here? You know? And number 4, he says, looking only at quarterbacks in their first 2 years with at least 300 passing attempts since 2000. There are 103 quarterbacks with at least 300 passing attempts in their first 2 years since 2000. Anthony Richardson, of those 103, ranks 103 out of 103 in accuracy, 102 out of 103 in completion percentage, 94 of 103 in success rate, 88 of 103 in touchdown interception ratio, and 81 of 103 in average yards per attempt that he picks up. These are, I mean, these are like made up. These are, I mean, they actually might be made up. They're so bad. I might have to go back and check my damn self because these are just so insanely bad. And a lot of those numbers are analytic numbers. Analytic numbers mean they're not just the black and white stat. They kind of take into account like the drops and all this stuff, you know? So to place a quarterback more in a box. They've all done this with Anthony Richardson, and he ranks dead last in almost all of them among quarterbacks since 2000. And none of this is to say that there's no potential in him, right? None of this is to say that, because maybe there is, maybe there's not. In theory, there's a ton. But you know, maybe he hits some of that, maybe he doesn't, is what I'm trying to say. But he's shown absolutely nothing in the NFL. He's shown absolutely nothing. There's no way around that. And might I say, with a pretty solid offensive line in the Colts, and I'm not going to pretend he has the best weapons in the world, but Michael Pittman is a fantastic possession receiver, and he's had some speedsters to go along with him. Who's the Cincinnati dude? Their wide receiver 2 or 3.
T. Higgins?
No. He's on the Colts. He's a white dude.
Said Cincinnati, bro.
No, from college Cincinnati.
Oh, Cincinnati.
I know Colts fan, probably a lot of NFL fans in general watching this are screaming the dude's name.
Hey, that's it, bro.
Alec Pierce, and then he recently got Josh Downs. I think
I knew it was Alex son. I couldn't think of the freaking last name.
I think Josh Downs came into the NFL. He was either a rookie last year or it was his second year. He might have came into the NFL with Anthony Richardson.
Downs, is he
He's a slot receiver, not slot wideout. It doesn't make any sense, but he's pretty good at slot. Like, he really is.
What's his name?
Josh Downs. He comes from UNC. I think this is his second. Yeah, 2023. He had numbers. So yeah, he came into the league with Anthony Richardson. So Anthony Richardson has had some good players and good offensive line throughout that whole time. And and Jonathan Taylor, who's an upper echelon running back. And it's like, he's putting up these numbers. You almost have to go out of your way. Again, it's not to say that there's no potential there. It's just to say, you've been in the league 2 years. This is your third year with all this. You haven't shown a damn thing. You have shown a thing, actually. You've shown that you are worse than pretty much any quarterback in their first 2 years since 2000. That's impressive, especially with the weapons you have.
Josh Downs. I knew that name sounded familiar. That's Caleb Downs' brother.
Oh, shit. And you don't beat out Daniel Jones in training camp in year 3. Like, why just give you the job? Like it doesn't make any sense. Long-winded explanations, but we're here to provide context. And thank you, Warren Sharp, for a lot of context on that subject, because I can be a hater with some guys like Anthony Richardson, Justin Fields. I hope all these guys succeed, by the way. I'm not trying to keep them down. I hope these guys succeed. But I
Except
mean
Justin
some
Fields, he do not hope and pray for anything good with Justin Fields.
but sometimes I feel like these Anthony Richardson stat lines to get what Warren Sharp had, you almost got to hate watch for. But at the same time, if you don't hate watch for him, we never have them. So I'm not even mad at it.
Yeah. All right, so let me reel it in real quick because we spent too much time talking about Anthony Richardson. He's
Yeah.
trash. He was trash in college. He's gonna be trash for the rest of his NFL career because he's missing something up here.
Jesus.
So if we figure this out, he can get better. But up until then, he's just gonna be a bunch of traits with no brain cells because, yeah, I don't mean to be that harsh. Well, I mean, I do mean to be that harsh. You don't take a raw athlete in the first round as early as you took him and then expect him to just develop overnight. He needed to sit. They didn't have the patience for it. They had a good roster, like you said earlier. They had a roster.
That's exactly why. Don't forget, this is why Anthony Richardson got benched because of all this too, because he wasn't performing well, and they had a good roster last year. They thought Joe Flacco gave him a better shot than Anthony Richardson, And credit to who's that coach?
Shane Steichen.
Yes. He's been throughout it all. Like even when he benched Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco, and when he announced Daniel Jones, he's been very in control of it. He's not really fed any bullshit about like, oh, we'll see what happens. He's been very clear, like this is what's going to happen, and this is my team. This is what I want to happen, and this is what's going to happen. And he doesn't seem like he's been very like my way or the highway about it. Just kind of like this is what's going to happen for now, and things can change, things remain fluid, but for now, this is what's going to happen. I'm not going to give anybody false hope. I'm not going to just bullshit the media. And so credit to him for having everything under control every step of the way, pretty much.
Yep. All right, so we are moving away from Colts Packers, and we are moving on to Raiders.
Raiders.
All
And
right.
we got something for you guys with this.
Yeah, because this portion is going to be a little bit longer, we are going to take a break before we get into that. One, I need some more coffee and I gotta run to the bathroom.
We're probably gonna edit a lot of it out too. No, the mostly the whole like trying to get the film on the Justin Fields fiasco. That'll probably save some valuable minutes.
Yeah, that part, that's definitely gonna get cleaned up a little bit, but mostly just taking a break just because I want to get more coffee and I use the bathroom.
Yes, sir.
Not
Yes,
even
sir.
really because of how long this segment is gonna be. I just use that as an excuse.
Nah, I hear you.
But yeah, all right. So let me stop this real quick.